We are back, and we begin at day 100 with another track. From last time, I didn't have any good armor enchants, and finally, from all the diamonds that I got in the fortress, I made an enchanting room. Got the lapis from the villagers, and started my enchanting process. And then moved on making more dirt. Day 101, after I was editing my 100 days video, I thought, what projects can I do on my world? And I began by expanding my platform to make a sugarcane farm. Day 102, I had to start from the beginning and make a water collection system for the items to flow into the hopper. The building process continued until day 103. Realizing that I will need more iron for the sugarcane farm, I moved on doing other things. So I came to the stone generator machine, which now gives me a lot of stone that I can mine much more quicker. Next day, came to the gold farm to gather enough gold to make powered rails. And stayed there for the following day. Day 106 traded the rod and flesh for emeralds into lapis, and enchanted the sword with good enough enchants. I wanted to make a villager trading hall, so I crafted a minecart and rails to transport the villagers easier. Picked the location for the trading hall on day 107. My plans were to make it closer to the villager breeder, and then I gathered enough slabs to begin this. All that work put in the previous day, on day 108 I started to build my project. Day 109, since I had other things to do, my villagers were breeding all this time, so now I have a lot of villagers. To do any further building, I needed some redstone, so I came to the gold farm until the cleric trades were reset. And continued to stay in the nether to get more rotten flesh and gold. Day 111, on my previous times, I spent killing iron golems to have enough iron to make an anvil. Then grabbed some mending books that I got from the librarian and put them on my pickaxe and sword. Came to the gold farm on 112 to grab myself a piglin, and caged him so it would be easier to do bartering. I wanted to name him Paul. I got the name from the movie called The American Psycho, from this funny moment that happened in the movie.
Hey, Paul!
Stayed in the nether to gather more gold, and finally, I can do bartering at the same time. And continued more gold farming until I got enough blackstone for my villager breeder house. Day 114, my dedication to build this roof are strong, and I will be returning to the gold farm if I will run out of blackstone. What a perfect time, with the villagers there is a slime. During day 115, I killed more golems so I can make a hopper. It is needed for my villager trading hall to collect minecarts, the moment I am transporting the villagers. Then moved on by placing the rails to transport the villagers. To get villager discounts, I needed a zombie, so I came to the mob farm and got myself a zombie to put him in the little hallway, so he would be able to infect villagers when I need him to. Then, I chose a name for him. He will be named Robert. And without any question, I placed brewing stands for villagers to pick a profession. The farm was finished on day 116, so I returned to the gold farm. Hey, Paul. And stayed the next day. And a bit on another day, to trade gold with Paul. All this time, I stayed in the nether for too long, I got swayed. But with all the goodies that I got, it was worth the trade. With all the blackstone I got, my goal was still the same, to build the cover for the villagers. I finished the layout of this roof on day 119. The reason I moved on by doing other things, all because I waited for more iron golems to spawn, so I can get the activator rails. It was time to transport villagers, so I pressed this button, which spawns a minecart, and picks up the villagers from my breeder. And they went straight to my trading hall, where the minecart got destroyed and put into this chest. Repeated this process on day 120, and got more villagers in the trading hall, so I will have clerics to trade in all the rotten flesh into emeralds. My next option was to infect these new villagers so I can get a discount on their trades. The infection process was done, and the healing process has begun, until into normal villagers they will become. Day 121, I tried getting more villagers in the trading hall, but one of them got out. He got scared by the zombie all this time, and decided not to waste my time with him. I got him in the normal village. With all that rotten flesh I managed to pile, finally I traded in for some emeralds. Getting all that lapis from the villagers, I came to the enchanting room to enchant my armor, and getting all the good enchantments on my armor pieces. I put mending on all of them. Day 122, running out of lapis, I needed to wait until villager trades reset, so I spent the time gold farming. Getting all the gold for the golden apples, I wanted to get the librarians, so I transported to 3 more villagers in my trading hall. And the following day, I infected them, fed them, and cured them. Spent the rest of the day trying to get the perfect enchanting books. And these villagers weren't giving me anything good, so I struggled with them until day 124. Until I finally got the Efficiency 5 villager, a Mending villager, and an Unbreaking 2 villager, and finally I got Unbreaking 3 on my Elytra. Put Efficiency on my Silk Touch pickaxe. Next day, my new big project was about to be constructed. This is why I got a lot of clerics, so I can make a lot of redstone farms. I continued building this farm on day 126, and working on it, I finished the redstone part. Later, I came to the village to trade emeralds, and then came to the trading hall to unlock villager trades, and then had a chance to kill more iron golems, and finally added Unbreaking on my fortune pickaxe. After all that, I moved on adding cartography tables in this huge farm. I think you know what I'm making here. That's right, I'm making the iron golem farm. Day 127, getting the string from the mob farm, I crafted beds to create villager holding cells. Put the trapdoors so the villagers wouldn't escape, and made the iron golem spawning platform. And processing on the next day by adding cobblestone walls, so the iron golems wouldn't get out. Adding blocks on where they're gonna fall, placing fence gates to stop the water flow, and finally placing all the water. Next, I was building a platform on where the iron golems will be falling. Day 129, I wanted to add cobblestone walls, so the iron golems would be falling where I want them to. Finish one side, now it's time for the other. Of course, all this building required me to get a lot of cobblestone, so while I was building, my stone generator was generating stone for me to mine out. Finally finished the other side on day 130, and place signs so the lava can be placed in the future. The building part was the easiest. Now I had to transfer 12 villagers into the golem farm, so I began placing rails that led to it. Got my first villager in, and needed him to sleep into the bed so he would think that this farm is his new home. Managed to get a second, and the third villager. On day 131, I removed the rails from the first holding cell, and then built the next pathway of rails. During that day, I came to the gold farm to get more blackstone. Paul is like the luckiest piglin in the world. Look how much gold he's getting. Day 132, I placed all the rails so I can transfer more villagers. Since I ran out of villagers, I had to improvise, so I got one without profession from the little village, and made a pathway so I can transport him. I got him. Since I waited for more villagers to breed, I wanted to grab some zombies. The mobs were spawning in my unfinished sugarcane farm. Got this sucker in the glass cell and named him Ted. Look at this villager, he escaped. But that one zombie is doing wonders, the iron golems are already spawning. Day 133, I got the uncured villagers from a trading hall and put them in the golem farm and transported the other one who escaped. All this time I struggled with the other one because he wanted to escape. This one is such a pain. Not to bother with this villager anymore, I got the other one. This one didn't listen as well. I was like playing tag with a bunch of kids and got another one in to move them as quick as possible. Finally, I got him. On the next day, got the other one and pushed him to the farm. With all that hard work, I wanted to do more trading and got the second name tag I wanted to get for the second zombie. That zombie got attracted to the iron golem and got killed during the process. Day 135, grabbed another villager and getting him in the minecart, moved him to the farm. Now I'm getting closer to grabbing all the villagers. Moving on, I turn on the farm, so it would be working, and now I have golems falling in the lava, so I can get easy iron. Then I flew to the village that I saw in the distance from my base, and found a spruce sapling which gave me more wood options for my builds.
Yes.
I was so excited for it. Getting another zombie, I wanted him to follow me into the glass cell, but the iron golem spawned on the pathway and killed the zombie that I tried to capture, Not only that, he killed my zombie named Ted. After turning off the Iron Golem farm, on day 136, I came to the Nether to do more farming. Then I came back and tried my luck in grabbing more zombies to get into the holding cells. On day 137, I couldn't get another zombie, so I waited until nighttime and crafted a lot of chests so I can have a storage for my iron. While I was grabbing wood, nighttime came in, and a zombie was following me. I caged him in and gave my zombie names of Barney and Ted, from the series I used to watch called How I Met Your Mother. Activating the farm and moved on by making all the hoppers from the iron that I got. On day 138, I waited for more golems to spawn so I can add the hoppers to the collection system on the other side. After spending all that time, I finally wanted to grow my first spruce tree so I can have 4 saplings to grow a large version of it. Day 139, I'm still not seeing any babies in the breeder, so I removed the beds and replaced them to see if it fixes the issue. Since I am waiting for villagers to breed and cannot finish the Iron Golem farm, I moved on doing other projects. With all the iron that I got, I crafted a lot of pistons and wanted to build something out of redstone. On the next day, I was unlocking a weaponsmith trades, so I can probably get a diamond sword upgrade. Grabbing a new sword, I came to the enchanting place and got a good enchantment on my sword, so I combined it with my other sword, and by doing it, I broke the anvil. For the villagers to give me that emerald charm, I had to come back to the gold farm. Stayed here more, and more, and more, and even more. Grinded here for a while, just look at this pile, and left the Nether in style. Alright, enough rhyming. With all those resources I gathered in the Nether, I wanted to focus on building. And I was still doing the same thing on the next day. Let me tell you that this took a while to build, and by doing changes to the roof, villagers started to breed again. I guess they wanted a proper house. After training with villagers, I got myself a new sword and an axe. So I wanted to do some more enchanting. Got a new perfect diamond axe and a legendary looting free sword. On day 145, I combined my sword and finally got a maxed out diamond sword. Came to the gold farm to test out this beauty. And farming only for 3 minutes, I was getting all this loot many times more faster. That's the power of looting free, baby. Farming this short, I already had a stack of gold ingots. On day 146, I spent all this time doing piglin bartering with Paul. I came back home to trade in all the rotten flesh that I got. And spent most of the day to finish the roof, and finally proud to say that the roof is finished. Next day, I wanted to design the walls for this villager house, so I started adding some windows. Putting the glass made the building look more alive. Taking time to design my build, I continued until day 148. Wanted to grab some iron, I realized the farm wasn't working, and seeing that the golem somehow killed Ted and Barney. And now, I had to get the new ones. The zombies got ended, just like the show. Finally, since my villagers are breeding again, I moved on by focusing on the iron farm. Just needed 3 more villagers, and I can start getting some zombies. On this day, I got all 3 villagers, so I began removing the rails, and now we needed to wait for the nighttime. Spent this time on designing the villager house, and finally when the nighttime came, no zombies were seen. To not waste time, I came to the gold farm to do more grinding. On the next day, I spent more time carefully thinking on the villager house, and in the distance I saw a forest fire caused by the lava. I wasn't scared, it seemed funny that this even happened. Day 151, I was working on my building project, still wondered what design I should go for, until an idea popped in and I went with it. The nighttime came in and the zombies were spawning. I boxed one of them in and just needed 1 more. On the next day, I came to the mob farm to grab my final zombie. Tried to lure him in, but his golden helmet broke and he immediately died. Grabbing a full durability helmet, I got another one and gave him my helmet, so he wouldn't burn. Trying to get him into the cell, villagers spawned a new iron golem, who managed to quickly kill him. I eliminated this threat before he kills my other zombie. No worries, I got another zombie, and put this one successfully into the glass cell. The names I gave these zombies were Rex and Cody, my new clone troopers. Activated the farm and removed the staircase, and the iron golem farm is finally finished. Left the golem farm to wait until I get more iron and moved to do some more building. Day 153, I came to the Nether to come back to the place that nearly killed me. Stayed there to hunt the wither skeletons, and you know where I'm going with this. Stayed here very long, and on the next day I got my first wither skull. Having no more luck, I came back home with a lot of coal and blaze rods in my inventory. Day 155, I wanted to adventure more this time, looking for more end cities. On my last video, I lost the recording on my adventures in the end cities, so now here I am, getting another elytra. Got the dragon head, which I forgot to collect last time, and a new set of elytra wings. Killed more shulkers and grabbed the loot in the end city. My adventures carried on for another day and explored 1, 2, 3 more end cities until I returned back to the main end island. Came back home and admired the beauty of my house that I built, then organized my armor chest by getting rid of the leather armor and organized the other loot that I retrieved. Day 157, it was time to work on my modifications for the stone generator. For it, I needed a lot of pistons. My idea was to use them so they can push the stone upwards, so my machine can generate a huge stone cube for me to mine. To build it, I also needed a lot of redstone for this project. And the best way of getting redstone are from villagers, so I came to the Nether to grind for more rotten flesh and gold to get a lot of emeralds. On day 158, I still stayed at the gold farm for the rest of the day. Next day, I returned home with the shulker box full of rotten flesh, and a lot of gold in the other hand. Finally, getting 100 pistons for this build, I began placing them on where I want the stone to be pushed. Running out of redstone and waiting for villager trades to reset, I flew to the fortress and tried my luck of getting more wither skulls. Stayed in the fortress on day 160, and now I got 3 wither skulls. Got an extra one, my luck is turning around. Satisfied with my findings, I returned home to check my golem farm to see that iron ingots won't be an issue anymore. Spent time villager trading to get more emeralds and redstone. Got another name tag and finally gave a name to Reaper. Day 161, I built a platform for my redstone contraption, just to make this a safe build. Started by placing my first redstone torches. This worker placing torches took me all day. I had to do this very carefully. I am proud to say that this is my redstone design that I made. Doing this on Creative World made me learn more about redstone, and out of it I made a machine that will push all the stone and let it generate more. Placing all this redstone and going to trade for some more is taking me a while, but another day has passed. And now I wanted to place the hoppers for the golem farm to make it easier to separate the poppies from the iron. Then again I moved by putting finishing touches to my stone generator, and I can say that it works how I want it to. Day 164, I worked with some more redstone this time for my golem farm, so I can let only iron into the chests. Now look at this beauty moment, stone is being pushed so more can generate. It will be easy to collect all the stone. Placing all the redstone for the golem farm and making the hoppers to only transfer the iron. Day 165, it takes a long time to regulate these hoppers and spend half of a day doing it. And then had to do the same thing for the other side. Had to spend the entire day doing the redstone wiring. Day 167, the sorting system was finished, now I just needed to remove some chests. By being done with all the redstone, I wanted to move on by building. This time for my stone generator. The idea is to build a fancy looking build, but with limited items I needed to think more before I can continue. And spend resource gathering on this day and still trying out the building styles. Day 169, it was time for another battle, so first I was getting a new bow. Then I was brewing a lot of potions and wanted to double check if everything's good for my wither fight. And look what I found here, a new fox in water. This is the gear and items that I will be bringing to my epic battle. Day 170, my plan was to fight the wither in the end, but right before I fight, I grabbed the dragon egg to keep it in my collection. I know that the wither breaks through obsidian, and I can trap it under the bedrock fountain, but I wanted this first battle with the wither to be challenging. Let's begin with this fighting crack and play the epic music track. The Wither boss was defeated, and the Nether Star was achieved.
Yes.
Day 171, after that epic battle, I wanted to spend time gold farming. And stayed here for another day to achieve of getting 2 shulker boxes full of rotten flesh, and a lot of gold in my inventory. On day 173, I grabbed all the iron that I got, and all the gold. I made a fully powered beacon and activated to give me a haste 2 effect. With that haste 2, now I can mine stone in a very fast pace. Since I got all this iron and all that redstone, I can finally start work on the sugarcane farm. On day 174, I added more pistons and observers to break a lot of sugarcane for me. I want this farm to produce me a lot of sugarcane, so I was building another layer of it. Then, wasting my diamonds on a hoe, just so it would be easier to farm more dirt with it. Day 175 decided to do more dirt collecting by first using a hoe on the coarse dirt, and then shoveling it. After that, I just used my Silk Touch pickaxe to grab more stone for my next huge project that I had in mind. On this day, I build out to begin my new giant mob farm build. First, I placed the hoppers on where the mob loot will be collected. After that, I needed a platform to transport the mobs into their deaths. Day 177, I got a lot of dispensers and a lot of observers. Now I needed to make the spawning platforms. Building this took me a whole day. So much that I spent the other day of finally finishing it. Next day, I needed to place a giant slab roof to create enough dark space for the mobs to spawn. Now placing all of these repeaters, I created a redstone clock that will place the water at the right time to push all the mobs down to their deaths. Day 180, I had to place water to push the mobs to the right location. Then getting all the water buckets into each dispenser so the mobs would be directed off the platforms. Got 92 scaffolding to make an AFK area. The reason for this is to increase the mob spawning rates, so loads of mobs will be killed in this farm. Also, I want to say that this farm was designed by Shulkercraft. If you want to build this farm yourself, there will be a video link in the description. Day 181, I had to get rid of this old mob farm. It affected the spawn rates of my new one. This is what I spend most of the day, doing nothing but boring stuff, just removing this mob farm. Day 182, I wanted to begin a new building project for my sugarcane farm. To begin the build, I had to expand the platform. And did the same on day 183. On day 184, I built the layout of my build with cobblestone, so I can know where the safe places to place blocks without breaking the farm. That is why I built layouts. Realizing I need more space, I had to expand the floor. Next day the building began. I wanted to place locks first to know where my beams will be going. I wanted to try a new building method where you had to add so much detail to the build. I just wanted to find out if this sort of thing works for me. Building this wall, I was so close to the iron farm that golems started spawning on it. I had to place a lot of unspawnable blocks to prevent any golem spawning. On day 186, I started to put snow walls on this build. What? It's a beautiful block. Of course, since I forgot to put light near this build, some mobs were spawning and this creeper blew up near my build. On the next day, I was building the same layout, just like the one I built below. I am planning to go big on this project. This will look great. Look how it turned out. The process of building this took me another day to do, and now I had a good view to see how the iron golem farm was working. Now, this sort of build looks very professional. Without stopping, on day 189, I am very dedicated to build this. Coming to the villager trading hall, I see an iron golem here trying to get Robert, the zombie. I dispose of it immediately. On day 190, I wanted to relax from building, so I came to the gold farm. Stayed here for another day. My mission was to retrieve chickens from baby piglins that were riding them. Since these chickens spawned with baby piglins, they were considered a hostile mob, which means they can despawn. To prevent that, I needed to put name tags on them. Coming back home, a fox started to attack my chickens, and quickly killed it, so now I only had one chicken. I covered it so no foxies would hunt my chicken, and got a name tag for my little bird. I named him Hotwing, because he came from hell. I wanted Hotwing to be more protected, so I surrounded him with a glass cell. Day 192 came back to the hell to get another chicken. I need the second chicken so they can produce more babies. These hostile chickens are made so that they wouldn't drop any eggs. Mojang added this to avoid baby zombies who ride these chickens to pick up the eggs, which will prevent them from despawning if they had something in their hand. Returning home, got a new name tag, got this chicken in the holding cell and named him Chicken Popcorn from the food menu in KFC. Next day, after breeding the chickens, I waited for the little chicken to grow up, so I started from where I left off in building. On day 194, my plan was to place wood beams. First, I wanted to visualize how big the build will be, and had to do this on day 195. While I was still building on 196, I wanted to check how much iron I got, and a lot has been produced for me. On day 197, my building didn't stop. I had to move the trees closer to gather logs much more faster. This project was like my main thing that I had to focus on, but I am still building this on day 198. Finally, the chicken is laying eggs, and now I needed to get more babies in. Another day, I am still in the same place doing the same building process. I can't wait to reach the end of it. That is it, day 200 has been reached. This entire thing was very fun to do, and I'll continue on this until I'm gonna release the 300 days video of my Skyblock world. But thank you guys for watching this video, show support by subscribing to my channel, and I will see you on the next video.